I'm Mr. Juvent Paul, a chemistry biology teacher, but I do also give concepts in other science subjects such as physics, basic mathematics, and geography. People do call me Mr. Concepts, and today I'm having a concept in a chemistry subject, and the topic, volumetric analysis. Now, if you are a student or somebody working with the chemicals, please, you just pick your notebook, sit near by your device, listen to me very carefully, make a follow-up upon my talk, a session after a session, so that by the end, you have been acquired a complete knowledge on volumetric analysis. Now, as I've said that it is chemistry session, and it is volumetric analysis topic. For somebody to have a good understanding on volumetric analysis, somebody needs first to understand the concepts behind the volumetric analysis. One of the concepts is the concept of molecular formula on how one atom combines with another atom in the formation of a compound. But another concept is about how do we count atoms in a chemical formula or a compound. But after there, somebody needs to understand the concept of a mole, After there, then somebody needs to understand on how do we calculate the total mass of the compound or molecular mass mathematically. After there, somebody needs to understand the concept of concentration, on how do we prepare standard solutions from both liquid substances and solid chemical substances. Then after, somebody needs to understand the concept of chemical equation of the reaction, on how one chemical substance combines with another chemical substance in the formation of a new product. Then after there, somebody may move to the concept of volumetric analysis. Now today, the concept volumetric analysis will start from the first part, the part of molecular formula, on how one atom combines with another atom in the formation of a compound. But what does it mean by the term molecular formula? Molecular formula is a formula representing a chemical composition of a chemical substance. The chemical containers, you find written some chemical formulas. For example, this one here, this is a chemical container within which there is a chemical. Now can you see it is written NaCl over there. But then it is written sodium chloride. So sodium chloride, now this one is the chemical formula for sodium chloride. Even other chemicals have their names and their chemical formula. So it is very important for somebody to understand what does it mean by chemical formula and how does it come that one atom combines with another atom in the formation of a compound or a chemical formula of the particular substance. Now, under all level, we have two types of chemical formula. We have the so-called binary chemical formula or binary compound, but also we have the so-called radical compound. I'm going to start with the binary compounds or binary chemical formula. Binary chemical formula is the one which is formed by two simple atomic ions. Two simple atomic ions. For example, these ones are examples of binary compounds. They are formed by two simple atomic ions. One positive ion, one negative ion. This one is sodium chloride, and this one is potassium fluoride. And then we have magnesium oxide, and this is calcium oxide, magnesium chloride, and others. Now we need to see how do these form. Earlier, remember, we shared an idea on how do atom forms ions. Now today, we are using ions in formation of chemical compounds. Now on binary compounds to start, let me start on how do sodium chloride, for example, forms sodium chloride. Now on the formation of sodium chloride, remember it is having an atom, sodium and chlorine. This one is sodium followed by chlorine. Now during the formation, during the combination of sodium and chlorine, it is like you need first to have sodium atom written over there with its ion. So it becomes sodium ion. Then on the other side, you need to have chloride ion. chloride ion, like that. Then after there, you need to convert. You need to convert or to change these ions so that they read valence. So that they read valence. Now remember, the amount of charge in atom will determine the amount of charge, meaning the amount of charge the valence has. For example, sodium is having a charge of 1. Therefore, its valence will be 1. So we write there, sodium with a valence of 1. Then similar to chlorine, having a charge of 1, so it becomes chlorine with a valence of 1. So these are the valences of sodium and the chlorine. After there, the next step is to exchange these valences among the two atoms. So the valence of sodium will go to chlorine. The valence of chlorine will move to sodium. But when these valences are exchanged, they are written as subscripts. Look at me. This one is sodium having a valence of 1. This one is chlorine having a valence of 1. Now during the exchange, the valence of chlorine will move to sodium and written over there as a subscript. So it comes here, it comes there, the valence of sodium, meaning the valence of chlorine. But the valence of sodium then will move to chlorine and written as a subscript over there. That is 1. So this is the valence from sodium and this is the valence from chlorine. After there, we have something like sodium 1 and chloride 1 and chloride 1. Then after there, collect them together, combine them together to have a single combination. This is sodium with the 1 and this is chloride with the 1, like that. Now, if a valence of 1 appears in a chemical formula, it should not be indicated. Because when you write sodium as it is, it means that is 1 atom of sodium. So there is no need of indicating a valence of 1 in the formula. So finally, this one brings the formula. Sodium chloride, like that. So this is how this chemical formula forms. Now you can do this one the next day by yourself. So this one has been done already. Now you can do this one. You can just try that one. Now, sometimes we have atoms with a charge of more than 1. For example, magnesium oxide. Let us see magnesium oxide. How does magnesium oxide forms? For example, you first write magnesium atom with its charge. A charge of 2. Magnesium is having a charge of positive 2. And then oxygen is having a charge of negative 2. After they have said that, you convert these charges so that they read as valences. So the valence of magnesium becomes a valence of 2 over there, and the oxygen having a valence of 2 over there. Then next, you exchange the valences. So magnesium having a valence of 2, and the oxygen having a charge of 2, a valence of 2. So 2 from magnesium, this way, 2 from magnesium will move to oxygen and be written as a subscript over there. And the 2 from oxygen got magnesium and it will be written as a subscript over there. Then finally we have Mg2, oxygen 2. Now if it happens that you have the valences that are similar and they can be simplified, and not necessarily similar, but at least they can be simplified. You need to make sure that finally you have a simplified chemical formula. So these ones can be simplified by 1, then you have 1. Over there you have 1. So it comes out as magnesium with 1 and oxygen with 1, and then it is finally having, it brings the formula MgO. That is magnesium oxide. So this one is done, and then you can try this one. You can try this one on your own. You can try that one on your own. Sometimes you may have the formula, for example, like, let's say we need to combine carbon. For example, carbon, this is carbon having a charge of positive 4. Carbon having a charge of positive 4, and maybe oxygen having a charge of negative 2. That way, when you convert the charge of carbon, the charge of I'm sorry, this is not carbonamine. The chemical symbol for carbon is that one over there. So when you convert this one into valence, it becomes carbon with a valence of 4 and the oxygen having a valence of 2. During the exchange of atoms bring oxygen 4 and many carbon 4 and the oxygen with the 2 over there. So 2 moves to carbon and written over there as a subscript, and the 4 moves to oxygen and it is written over there as a subscript. Now we have something like C2 and the oxygen 4. C2 and oxygen 4. So when we bring them together, we have something like C2 oxygen 4, like that. Oxygen 4. Now can you see, these two numbers must be simplified to bring a chemical formula with the simplest ratio of atoms in it. So we can cancel this one by 2 and simplify this one by 2, that you have 2, and this one by 2 we have 1 there. So it comes out with a chemical formula finally. This is C with the 1 over there, 1, and the oxygen with the 2 over there, which is finally coming out as CO2. This way. So we do call this one carbon dioxide, and that is how carbon dioxide forms. Sometimes you may be having a chemical formula of which the valences can't be simplified. I'm going to give just one more. So you can try this one on your own and that one on your own, but also you can try this one as done already, and now let us see this one. This one. Now you may be having the formula. You may be having the formula having the numbers that can't be simplified. For example, let's say you need to combine armenium with a charge of positive 3, and maybe oxygen, let's say oxygen with a charge of negative 2. And then when you convert these ones so that they can read as valences, you have armenium with a valence of 3 and you have oxygen with a valence of 2, like that. During the exchange, you have armenium with 3 and oxygen with 2. Oxygen will take 3, so it will be written over there, and armenium will take 2, will be written over there. Then we have armenium with 2 and the oxygen with 3. Now you can see these numbers can't be simplified. 2 and 3 can't be simplified. So finally we have the same chemical formula, armenium with 2 and the oxygen. Now this one is called the armenium oxide. So this one has been done. This one over there has been done. This one. Now you can try on your own this one over there. So that is about binary compounds. Now then I need to move you into another part of radical compounds. Get ready.